available money to keep us going and to do all the things that we need to be able to do. So we are asking this commissioners, the county, for $80,000 for a salary for this year, and for, hopefully for, next year, and then by then we feel like we'll be sustainable with the capital campaign. What questions can I answer?
Are you receiving any other funding now?
Yes, so just a little bit. Today, we get, correct me if I'm wrong, we get $300 a month from the city, for rent. We have requested that it go up to $850 a month, but what they've told us is that to come back to this next month's meeting. So we're requesting that. We're trying to move to the area, where, the old bank building next to, PNC Bank, thank you. Next to PNC Bank, that rent is, more than what we're paying for now, but where we're at now is just, it's not, you can't really have guests in there, you can't bring businesses in there to make them want to be a part of Naval. So we're trying to rent that building. We obviously one day would love to be able to buy our own building, but, based off of, listening to other, chambers like Alex City and Wetumpka and several others that we've reached out to, they all say you gotta have a nice, building or a nice presence, but the most important thing is having a person that's a full-time job and not just volunteers. We've done as much as we can. Everything's on us as volunteers, and we're happy to do that. We will continue, but we need somebody that's full-time. But that's our only money that we get is from the city.
So the 80,000 would be everything that includes insurance.
Right, so we would feel like to get the kind of person that we need to be the CEO, we would, offer them a salary, plus we would have to offer some kind of benefits, with that, so yes, sir.
I have a question.
Sure.
What is your operating budget out, current operating budget without executive director in terms of what you do programmatically and things of that nature throughout the year?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to look back here to the president, or to the treasurer. So, it's yeah, 35,000, yeah, it's about 35,000. We raise money with like the fall festival and things like that. We do have a part-time employee, and she works for us today off of the money that we raise. She works, literally, I think 26, 27 hours a week. And she does kind of the administrative stuff, just, getting our memberships and things like that. This person would be a totally different level. They would be going out to different businesses to help do the capital campaign, as well as bring commerce to this area.
So would you, as part of your future business model, would you retain your part-time person?
We would retain that person. We feel like we will continue to do some of the fundraisers that we do with the Dinner on the Square or the, fall festivals and all the things that we will continue to do those, until it doesn't make sense. Again, I've done some research, and, I think of the 67 counties in Alabama, I think that's right, it was a large percentage of them are held by their counties, the chambers, the various chambers. Obviously, the big ones like Jefferson County and things like that, they don't. Very different situations. Any other questions? I'm happy to entertain any questions. We would very much appreciate this, the commissioners.
Steve's our resident chamber of commerce expert, so.
He is.
Well, it's an investment to improve your economic development in the community. So we have, in our city, we have 620 members. I don't know what the Naval membership is, but so that,
We're right at 200.
okay, sure.
Yeah.
But, we do, like 70 events a year, that kind of thing. So it takes, we have four full-time
Exactly.
people that do that.
have a vision. I mean, I really like the positive energy and growth and
Thank you.
that's taking place in Naval right now, and the fact that you're continuing to kind of layer components to it in terms of, adding and wanting to move your team from a part-time person to a full-time person, all the activity around the square, that activity on 49, expand, annexation efforts that are in various levels of, development and stuff like that, other things that are proposed for the area. So I mean, it's good to see the energy and drive, and the level of cooperation.
Yes.
There's an energy here would be great if it became more contagious around the county.
Yes.
So,
Well, thank you.
me for what you're doing and keep it up.
Well, thank you very much. We think that people are starting to notice too and saying things like, wow, I haven't been to Naval in a while, and look at the growth. It's amazing what's happening here. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
We also encompass, our chamber encompasses
Camp
Camp
Hill.
Hill, Reeltown, and Jackson's Gap. So it's not just
Just,
Naval.
right.
So we're trying to boost, lift everybody up.
Good.
And that's our board's represented with people like that. So we have somebody from Camp Hill, somebody from further down near the Reeltown area, so yeah.
Appreciate your information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Yes.
I'm gonna give you 3 minutes.
Okey-doke. Morning, Commissioners, I'm Matt Campbell. I'm here individually and on behalf of Lakeshore citizens who are concerned about Camp Margaritaville. The primary concern, of course, is economic impacts associated with the project, specifically sewage. There's other things that the citizens are concerned about, changes as well, but the main thing we want to focus on at this point is the adequacy of the sewage treatment, and concerned that it may violate ADEM regulations regarding clean water, and especially the ADEM Treasured Alabama Lake classification, that Lake Martin enjoys, and it specifies under the ADEM regs that there to be no new point source pollution for Lake Martin, and also applies the Alabama anti-degradation of the water policy, and of course, there's special stormwater runoff committee regulations. Likewise, the citizens are concerned that Camp Margaritaville, with its great density and impact on the shoreline and all, is not going to meet the standards and the guidelines for shoreline development that have been established by Alabama Power Company and by FERC. They're going to need eventually a permit to do shoreline development at Camp Margaritaville, and would very logically want to have shoreline development permits from FERC, but it's such a large project and potentially so much impact on the water and on the overall project, that when I look at the stated guidelines and priorities for Alabama Power Company and FERC, that it doesn't look like this is something that they should approve. And I think the citizens are gonna oppose that. I wanna tell you that citizen opposition is coming. I, for one, am really happy to work with the council, and really, want to trust your good judgment, your good consideration about what to do here. But the citizens are gonna be opposed to this, and I wanna tell you that that's gonna be coming. One last thing that I wanna mention is that I've developed a little concern about the economic development district. That's been created. Mr. Beck has agreed to meet with me to show me some public documents that are not on the public records already, so we can understand the district a little bit more. And I have more work to do in reading the law, to see what it says in the Code of Alabama about this development district. And in a way, I'm asking you all to look at the code too and see. We don't want unintended consequences to come out of the development district. I sort of understand how it provides for bonds and how it can make advantageous funding available, but we don't want to have a situation where the responsibility for the roads and the utilities is shifted from the owner to the development district. So that then when the roads need repair, or specifically when the sewer system is found to be inadequate and it's polluting Lake Martin, that the financial responsibility for fixing these problems still lies with the owner and has not been shifted over to the development district. I ask you to look at that and be careful in your dealings with these developers. They're gonna be smart guys, I don't doubt. And my concern is probably not, well, it's probably a good idea to be concerned about that, because sometimes unintended consequences slip in. You wouldn't think that would happen, but it very well could. We need to look at the code provisions and see what they say about the shift of responsibility. For instance, right now at the Fleet Park, which pumps, I think, stormwater and sewage specifically to the Dayton wastewater treatment plant. If those lines had a break in them and it wasn't working anymore, I'm kind of concerned that probably Dadeville would be responsible for fixing those lines if that happened, because they've created this district and held it out as being ready to go for its utilities. Likewise, you wouldn't want to have a situation where this big camp, Margaritaville, with great concerns about the worthiness of their wastewater treatment plant to protect against degradation of water in Lake Martin, was going to be the responsibility of the county rather than the responsibility of the owners. That would not be a good situation, because then the public would be itself responsible for making these corrections. So please look at that and be mindful of that. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Dave Maddox.
Thank you. My name is Dave Maddox. I'm the president of the Sandy Creek Homeowners Association over in the Sandy Creek area. And we are opposed to the Margaritaville development. We have surveyed our members. We have kind of opposition to that. I've also conducted a poll on Facebook on the Lake Martin Voters site. And in that poll, I really kind of thought it would be 50-50. Like 50% of the people would say, yeah, we'd love to have a Margaritaville on Lake Martin. And the other 50% would be, no, we don't want it. But it turned out it was 95% said they didn't want Margaritaville on Lake Martin, and there were only 25 supporters that wanted to see a Margaritaville on Lake Martin. So we're opposed to this. We have engaged Beasley Allen Law Firm to assist us, and we're gonna kind of monitor the situation and do what we can. So just thought I'd let you know. Thank you.
So the 25 was 5%?
Yes, it was 6%.
6%, so.
Yeah, there were 393, we had 418 responses, at least that's what it was as of last night. 25 supporters, 393 opposed. So it will continue. I mean, it's not a real official kind of, they've got 49,000 members in that Lake Martin Facebook page. So, thought we'd get more, but we did ask them to give us their email, and that may have slowed people down. Some people will provide that when they do a poll. So, thank you.
COVID, which is a partnership with ADPH, as an annex to the plan. You should have received a copy of all that in your packet. I want to thank Ms. Sayre for her hard work in putting all this together, and also I recommend that you guys approve the 2025 emergency operations plan update.
Do I hear a motion to do so?
Make a motion to do so.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Approve a budget amendment for an appropriation to the Lake Martin Industrial Development Park, Lake Bay.
This is related to the, purchase option, and y'all previously discussed, Russian government already is, paid parents money. Already in the appropriate funds to cover that cost. Russian government.
Second.
All in favor? Approve the FY 2026 county transportation plan, Joseph Humphrey.
The plan details how we intend to spend our county rebuild Alabama fund and our federal aid exchange fund money in fiscal year 2026. We're required to have this plan approved by the commission and submitted to the ACCA by August 31st each